This is probably one of the weirdest consoles in my collection. It's the Retron 5 by Hyperkin, released in 2014, advertising the ability to play your old games from the cart. You have the Game Boy Advance, the Famicom, the NES, the Super Nintendo, then you have the Sega Genesis. Now these things caught a lot of flack back in the day because they had not the greatest emulation. You pop in a game and what it does is it dumps a ROM of that game to the flash memory or to your SD card here on the back of it, and then it uses an emulator to run your game sometimes. Compatibility is a little bit all over the place when it comes to the Retron 5. I've had to jiggle my carts multiple times just for the system to recognize it, but other stuff works fairly well, like the Game Boy Advance slot. I've never had a problem with that. You pop it in, it downloads your GBA game, and you can run it off the system. One of the coolest features is on the side panels. You have both a left and right side panel where you can pop open these little dust covers here, and you can put in a Sega Genesis controller, an NES controller, or a Super Nintendo controller. I've got my NES right here, so let's pop that in, and there you have it. Sadly, it also comes with a proprietary controller that is wireless. It charges with a micro USB up there. It comes with this clicky stick, not a real D-pad per se, and then all your buttons needed, they're also very clicky. And they've got a couple of triggers for your Game Boy Advance games. It feels very cheap, not my favorite controller, and it just looks weird. So I usually just keep it in the back of the console there. Also, if you're looking into getting into import gaming, it'll play Famicom cartridges, which is essentially the Japanese NES. While this is kind of a bad emulation machine and not as good as having the authentic consoles hooked up to a CRT, the Retron 5 still has a cool concept, and I wish there would be more all-in-one sorts of emulation boxes that make getting into retro collecting a bit more accessible. Anyway, that's all I have. See you next time.